Good afternoon. Welcome to the SAP Now virtual experience. I am Harish Bansal, Regional Lead Energy Sector, Industry and Customer Advisory Team. I'm going to talk about how SAP is helping customers navigate towards success during COVID-19 and helping them prepare for the future. If you have any questions during this session, feel free to put it in the chat window and I'm happy to respond to them. Thank you once again for joining the session. Our topic today is navigating to success beyond COVID-19 with SAP in the energy sector, the challenges and the opportunities that it presents to all of us. Well, we live in unprecedented times. COVID-19, the pandemic, has had a major impact on multiple industries, the highest being in industries like automotive and airlines. And then we have the oil and gas, metals, mill, mining, due to the massive demand shock and the lockdown leading to low consumption of these items. In fact, what we've seen in the last month or so is a drastic fall in the commodity prices, with oil falling, more than 60%, due to the demand shock as well as the war between Saudi, Russia, and the other OPEC countries. This has led to a major erosion in market capitalization of big companies across the globe. In fact, some of the biggest oil majors have seen a share price fall by more than 50%. And this has led to most of the oil and gas companies, especially on the upstream side, announced drastic reductions in their planned 2020 capex. Some companies have announced to the tune of 47%, while we see an average drop of about 19 to 20% in terms of the capex investments. Well, oil price fall has a major impact on Gulf economies and the government spending. If you look at this chart, we see that most of the countries in GCC have sovereign budgets, which translates to a break even at about anything ranging from 70 to 100 plus dollars. With the current oil price in the early 20s, this is going to be a huge burden on the GCC economies and their fiscal setups. What we also see is there is a very strong correlation between the oil price or the hydrocarbon output in terms of dollars versus the government spending. And given the sharp fall in the oil price, we are expecting government spending to reduce anywhere in the range of 20 to 30%. We have had various economists talk about GDP forecasts, and as far as this region is concerned, the average GDP forecast is tuned to 0% now, and it's fallen from the previous forecast of around 2%. Most of the economies in the region are expected to be negative or go in recession, barring just a handful of countries who are expected to show a very small positive growth. How has COVID-19 impacted the corporates in the energy industry? So let's look at that. What we see on the sourcing front is massive disruption in material supplies and ability of customers to plan for their critical spare parts. Companies are evaluating alternate suppliers as the supply chain is completely broken, with major restrictions, lockdowns, due to which companies are incurring expedited freight costs. On the supply chain side, we see an oversupply of crude. There are production pauses due to demand reductions, and the world storage capacity is filling up fast, which has led to the increase in rates of crude carriers. On the operations front, refineries, plants, fields, they're operating at lower capacity as they are not able to manage the supplies. There are manpower shortages as companies have announced lockdowns, and not everybody is able to go to work as normal. We've had challenges in managing operational integrity due to the lack of spare parts and external maintenance services. On the sales and marketing side, we've seen significant demand reductions. For example, due to no traffic on the roads globally, refined products demand has massively come down. In milk products, we see shift to e-commerce, where individuals or companies are now ordering uh, on the e-commerce channels. Uh, on the HR side, we see companies have announced non-critical workforce to work from home, and the critical workforce are screened to ensure that rigs, plants, refineries are free of infections. But this has led to major skill gaps and increased safety concerns. Uh, all this has impacted capex in a big way. And as I mentioned earlier, there have been steep cuts announced for 2020, which averages to around 19%. And there is a fear that 90% of the planned investments could either be pushed back or may not happen at all. What are we hearing from customers in the MENA region? So I've been on calls with customers over the past few weeks. Uh, I was in conversation with a steel manufacturer a few days back, and they reported 50% capacity being utilized at this point in time. The normal 4 shifts is down to 2 shifts, as they are not able to transport goods to their customers due to the lockdown. From an IT perspective, one of the major issues they are facing is handling of physical documents. How do they manage signatures of different stakeholders for the contracts, for the supplier invoices, and so on. Training is another issue, as they have now been asked to gear up for training their employees in an online virtual manner. An oil and gas upstream player, low oil prices is obviously keeping them on their toes. They've been asked to cut costs and investments, and getting people to operating fields with travel restrictions has been a big challenge for them. So, what are the key questions today? Uh, First of all, how do we manage business continuity? Uh, Everybody's trying to run helter-skelter and ensure that operations can continue. This implies a completely new world where digitization and online stuff becomes very important. So that's the current situation. But once the crisis is over, what is going to be the new normal? How can we adapt? How can businesses adapt to ensure that we come back uh, running when the pandemic stops? Uh, and what can we do now to ensure that we are ready for that? McKinsey has indicated that there are 5 horizons. Uh, the first two refer to business continuity, mainly about addressing the immediate challenges that COVID-19 presents to employees, customers, suppliers, technology, make businesses more resilient, address near-term cash management challenges, and then how do we prepare for the future, which is how do we create a detailed plan to return to business and scale that up? How do we reimagine the new normal? What kind of digitization initiatives we need to adopt in the organization so that we continue to maintain our competitive advantage. Now, let's talk a little bit about how SAP is supporting customers in this time. And I have put in 2 slides to talk about the business continuity part, which is what SAP is helping customers with immediately in the next 30 to 90 days, so that companies can manage disruption and work can be managed. And then on the next slide, I'm going to talk about how is SAP helping companies prepare for the future, where we see a lot of digitization initiatives being adopted by companies. So let's go through one by one. In fact, when I talk about business continuity, the initiatives that are mentioned that SAP can support on, many of these can be deployed in a matter of days to weeks, and SAP has also made a few of them as free for our customers. So the first one is worker health and safety, one of the most important aspects during this lockdown. We have to detect the sentiment of our employees. We want to understand whether the challenges that employees are facing, and this can be done through a remote work pulse survey that is provided by SAP Qualtrics. This is a time when we also need to fine-tune our safety measures, understand the employees who are coming in for operations, what is their vaccination record, what is their occupational health record, and all these processes can be managed in SAP EHS, Health and Safety Management. Also, what we see is many of our customers have employees who are working globally, who may have got stuck in different locations of the world and are not able to come back to their home location. So SAP Concur Locate helps companies assess the risk of different locations and communicate that risk to their employees based on the external triggers and based on what's happening in those locations. Last but not the least, we hear that many customers are now tracking the location and movements of the employees, especially they want to look at employees who have been in contact with people who have been in travel and are self-quarantined. So they want to track and monitor their self-quarantined employees just to ensure that their operations continue to remain safe. On enabling work and remote work, one of the biggest challenges we are seeing customers indicate to us is regarding physical signatures. It's becoming more and more difficult to carry physical documents from one home to the other and get signatures of different stakeholders. And that is where we see the concept of digital signatures with automated workflows where everything can be managed electronically. And that is SAP DocuSign. We've seen great traction for this, and very recently in this region, we've had customers in oil and gas as well as chemicals sign up to SAP DocuSign. This is a solution which can be implemented if in a day and can sometimes take a week or 10 days, depending on the number of integrations you may want to do with your landscape. Remote training, e-learnings, whether it is HSE or corporate procedures, policies, and we have a plethora of solutions that enable e-learning and remote training. What we also have in the energy industry, especially oil and gas, is very expanded external workforce or contingent labor. And as they are normally not in a system, it's very difficult to track their movements, understand where they have been, what has been their travel history, or monitor their activities, or in fact, even onboard new temporary workforce depending on the work requirements. Now, all of this is facilitated by SAP Fieldglass. And again, we are seeing a lot of traction for managing external workers through electronically through SAP Fieldglass. This is also a time where the C-level and the management and people in key managerial positions want single source of truth. They want visibility to their business from their homes at the click of a button, so that they have the ability to do simulations. And this is where well analyzed intelligence via SAP Digital Boardroom becomes a reality for a lot of customers. Uh, Also, what we are seeing is companies are adopting chatbots, robotic process automation to reduce the pressure on employees who are sitting in help desk, just to ensure that they can reduce the army of help desk employees and can facilitate their employees to do the first level of resolution through these artificial intelligence based chatbots. Agile supply chain. We customers understand that they have issues in their supply chain. They want to understand what their suppliers are facing. What is the sentiment of the suppliers? Would they be in a position to meet the delivery timelines? And this is managed through SAP Qualtrics Supply Continuity Pulse. SAP has also opened up Ariba Discovery, where if any customer is facing supply shortages, they can get onto the network, post their requirement, and let the suppliers on the Ariba network indicate whether they can comply to these needs and requirements. Demand planning, especially where the demand is so volatile, changing on a day-to-day basis. So how do you adjust your supply based on the demand? Visibility of supply chain issues, KPIs around supply chain. Now, both these are services which SAP has made free, and either through a partner or for existing IBP customers. So these are some of the stuff that SAP is helping customers with immediately, and we'll be more than happy to get in touch with you in case any of these resonates with you. Let's now talk about areas where SAP can support customers to prepare them for the future and devise an application strategy for the new normal. And this is all about enhancing digital business. On the worker health and safety, we will see the concept of connected health, where we have sensors passing information about the working conditions and the employee condition to remote centers for monitoring and tracking, and for the ability to send real-time alerts to those employees. On the enablement of work and remote work, we will see plethora of new technologies like machine learning, artificial intelligence, robotic process automation, smart assistants to create the next level of automation. And this becomes very important in disruptions like these, where employees are locked up at their homes and they are not able to perform duties as normal. We will also see an increased usage of mobile applications in the field for maintenance technicians, for inspectors, so that they are able to perform their tasks and confirm or accept tasks that are given to them without really going back to the office or without downloading stuff at the end of the day on a PC. We will see an agile supply chain, which means the integrated business planning will become more and more rampant, with a tie-up of demand, supply, and financials to ensure that there is a complete visibility and companies are able to adapt to the changing demand and supply patterns. I think one of the biggest areas that we will see digitization is on the manufacturing side. The Industry 4.0 will take off with increased usage of sensors and IoT to connect the shop floor to the top floor. We expect predictive capabilities driving intelligence, especially in the areas of maintenance, production quality, and energy optimization. We will see the concept of digital twin, which is replication of the physical mine or the plant with simulation capability to evaluate risks or do scenario planning to minimize disruptions. We will see accelerated adoption of autonomous vehicles, which can be monitored or controlled from a remote center. And last but not the least, we will also see an increased support from the OEMs, but remotely. Many of these has already been adopted by some of the progressive companies, but I think this COVID-19 is going to accelerate the path towards Industry 4.0 adoption in a much bigger scale. On the customer side, we will see an increased capabilities of B2B commerce, where business transactions can be conducted between two business parties through e-commerce. Now, in the end, let me leave you with these thoughts. This is a great opportunity for companies to boost business resiliency and also rev up their digital business strategies. This is what a lot of consultancies, market experts are saying, McKinsey being one of them. Essentially, the message is that in these turbulent times, as a captain of the ship, it is very prudent for everybody to look to solve the immediate needs, but one should not abandon digital projects or not prepare for driving digitization in your organization, because that's going to be the new normal, and that's what is going to make companies survive and accelerate their top line and bottom line in time to come. Thank you.
Thank you for attending the call. If you have any further questions, I'm happy to take them in the chat window, or we can schedule a call one-on-one at a later time.